Okay, so today we are going to learn about data, what are different types of data, and how to collect data from different sources which are authentic. I will just mention few of them because since it depends on the domain in which you are working, and definitely some tools for analyzing and cleaning the data. Okay, so I will be focusing more on cleaning and collection of data today. So let's start with few types of data and what type of data are available on web and different other sources. So to start with, there are different ways in which we can categorize data. Like for example, let me open just something to write. Maybe Google Doc. Okay, so if we discuss about types of data, I hope few of data are all of you must be knowing about what type of data are there, but few of them will be new for you. So in general, we classify data broadly as qualitative and quantitative. So this is one way to categorize data. I will just name few types of data and then I will discuss about it. Quantitative. Uh, other ways of classifying data is open data and closed data, uh, temporal, spatial. I will just discuss about all of these in detail. Structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Uh, and again, few there are other ways of classifying data also, like if you can write like big data, real-time data, and high dimensional data. So and there are a few other ones also, but these are the basic one which you can uh, just you will go through. You must have handle these kind of data. So first one is quantitative and qualitative. So it's very easy to understand. If you can quantify it in numbers, then it is quantitative, and if you cannot categorize it as numbers or some kind of numeric value, then that's qualitative. Okay, there are the other types of qualitative and quantitative also. We can also define some data as a qualitative or uh, mm, qualitative, like nominal and ordinal. And quantitative, you can also categorize it as discrete or continuous. As I said, there are other ways also, and if you Google it, and you will find different other categories also. So it's not very you cannot define it exactly, but like how many types of data are there. But you can just get some few idea about what type of data is there. So let me just quickly go through this qualitative and quantitative, and then I will discuss about these things which which may be new for most of you. So qualitative is nominal qualitative data which cannot be quantified, and which can be in any form, say text forms, survey form, and images, audios, and any other form. So you cannot put it in numbers exactly. So that is qualitative type of data. And again, it is you can categorize it into two ways. So two types, nominal and ordinal. So nominal is just like you just if it takes some kind of labels. Okay, so for example, gender, you can just give like gender, women or men. and transgender. So this gender thing is, it is a data, and it is a nominal, so you can just label it like gender can be male or female or transgender or others. So this can be like uh, one type of data which is nominal in nature. Hair color, marital status, so these all kind of data are nominal in nature because you can just label them. You cannot put it some number or something like some other things to related to this. Ordinal data is which has some intrinsic order. Okay, so it is related to some number but not exactly the number. For example, if you rank your students in a class, so first, second, third, it has an intrinsic order that first one is number one is this student has secured more marks, so this can be put as a number one student and other student. uh, Other example is letters ABC. If you put it write it in on a paper, so you can just make it as a ordered one. So comes before B, and B comes before C, and so on. So letters, it has an intrinsic order, but it is not exactly a number. So this is again a ordinal type of qualitative data. Feedbacks from customers. Okay, so economic status, so low economic people, and high and medium. So all these have in some kind of intrinsic order. So these are nominal and ordinal type of qualitative data. Quantitative, you can just uh, you can consider it as you if you can put it as some number for some kind of data, then you can call it as quantitative. So it can also be a two types, discrete or continuous. So discrete, if it takes discrete numbers or discrete values. So for example, number of students in a class, number of COVID cases in Delhi, or say number of COVID cases in India. You can just number it. So that can be 40,000 or 1 lakh or any number. So this kind of data is discrete in nature. uh, Continuous data, it can take any value. So it can take floating values like point values also. So say for example, speed of a car, okay, and some height distribution in a class. So this takes continuous values because it can take any values. It is not discrete in nature. It cannot be exactly quantified that the car is running at speed of 40. It can be a 40.5, 40.34, any number can be there. So this is continuous in nature. So discrete and continuous is again another type of data. So this was about if you classify it under qualitative or quantitative form. But there are other forms of classification also, like for example, open and closed. It can be applied to the data which you find on the internet, or you just collect it. It can be under different categories also. So data can be open as well as qualitative, or it can be open as quantitative, closed at qualitative, quantitative. It can be a spatial temporal also. So it's not like that any data with qualitative in nature, it cannot be open, or it cannot be spatial, or it cannot be structured. So these things are mixed ones. So you can have any data which can be of different forms, but any data which cannot be any quantitative data cannot be have qualitative in nature. So these two, nothing common in between these two things, but it some data can be have common properties like closed, qualitative, closed, quantitative, and even. So let's discuss our open and closed data. So any data which is available freely on any source, or maybe in library, or if you go to collect it offline or anything, it is available in public openly. So that data is open, and if it is not available directly in the public, so it is closed. Okay, so if you just google it, and you find some authentic source of data on the internet, then you can consider it as open. But if it is not there, and you will have to some you get permission, special permission for collecting that is closed form of data. So there are different websites which provide open data. I will discuss about it very soon. Temporal and spatial data. So if data is some kind of timestamps is related to the data, then it is temporal in nature. And if some space or geographical location is related to that data, you can consider it as spatial data. The mixture is also possible. So there can be some data which is spatio-temporal in nature. So for example, if you talk about temperature at particular location, okay, so temperature at particular location, it is spatial also, because we are talking about that location. And it is so for example, if you talk about temperature in Shimla, then it is again because we are talking about Shimla, that's why it's spatial in nature also. And temperature, it takes time stamp, you can relate that on particular date or particular time that temperature is recorded, then it is temporal in nature. So if it is if some kind of time stamp is related to that data, it is temporal. And if some space is also connected to that data, then it is spatial in nature also. And mixture is again possible, like spatio-temporal, where space and time both is connected to that data. So spatio-temporal data. Okay, now comes the big thing. So structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, which is again somehow connected to this big data, real-time data, and high-dimensional data also. So structured data, which can be put in proper format. So for example, tabular data, if you put you collect data in, and you can put it in some table or Excel file or comma separated file or any other tabular form, then it is structured, and it is very easy to handle, and most of us have gone through this type of data. Okay, so we have handled, if you are using Excel, if you are using R, Python, or SPSS, so that means you are handling this structured type of data, because it is easy to understand. Comparatively, it is very easy to understand, manipulate, and analyze, and even visualize. So structured data is most of the data. Like for example, if we say that number of COVID cases in India from March 2020 to March 2021, then you can put it in a tabular form. So this is a structured data. Okay, so but unfortunately, most of the data available in the real world is not in structured form. It is most of them are in unstructured form, and few of them are in semi-structured form. Okay, so tabular data is, for examples, are all CSV files or Excel files. You can put it in tabular form. So all this type of data is uh, tabular or structured form of data. Semi-structured data, if we talk about semi-structured data, then semi-structured data is, let me just put it in the form. So all tabular data CSV file.
Dr. Rajput, would you please see your voice? It's coming a bit low.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, now,
Is it fine now?
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So semi-structured data, if you have heard about XML data or JSON files on internet, then these are semi-structured data. So it's not in the tabular form, but it's in some different kind of format. Let's find some example for this. So XML data. Mm, okay, so if let me see if so the data is in this format. Okay, if you go in the net and XML data, then from Jenny reminder, don't forget. So email, you may consider, you can compare it with email format. So from Jenny, and this is you can consider it as a subject, and this is the content of the mail. So these kind of data can be considered as unstructured, and this is XML format of data. So email and other kind of data which are in this format are semi-structured, semi-structured, and in semi-structured, it's XML type of data. Let me find some JSON data also. JSON data. Okay, so JSON data is again so this is again like in this format. So you can see that it starts with this square bracket and with this square bracket, and color red, and value this one color green. You can consider like a color of a flower, or say if you are collecting some survey kind of data through this network. So JSON file is in this format. So you can see this is not a table format. It's not your Excel file. You cannot put it directly in the Excel format directly. So this kind of data is an example of again, this is an example of semi structured data. It's not in the table form, but it's special formats, so which we can there are two examples which I have covered, like XML format or maybe in JSON format. Okay, so this is semi-structured data, and few things, like if you want to collect data from, say, Amazon, like about type of how customers are behaving, and what kind of things people are purchasing. You cannot get it directly in the structured format like in table form, but you can get it in some JSON or XML file. Okay, so collecting data from, say, Amazon, Domino's, and different kind of websites. They can provide, if it is an open data, they will provide you data in these formats, semi-structured format only. It's very rare that they will provide, or if it is not, it might be not possible for them to provide the data in the structured format. Okay, so if you want to analyze these kind of data from these big websites, then you will have to understand this semi-structured form of data. Unstructured is almost most of the data, around 80% of the data available on in this real world is in the unstructured format, and it's very difficult to analyze these kind of data. Okay, so unstructured examples are, for example, if you are collecting, say, social media data. So what type of images are posted, or what type of information are posted on Instagram or Facebook, and say what kind of posts are liked most, and these kind of things. You cannot put it directly in the tabular form, or you cannot have it in semi structured format. These kind of data are mostly in unstructured format. Survey data, say, if you collect it, it might happen that you can make it in the structured format, but if you go for a real time survey, then you cannot just put it in tabular form or semi structured form. It's mostly most of the survey are in a structured format. Say chats, so if you want to collect type of chats or other kind of SMS surveys or WhatsApp, these kind of data is again unstructured format. And images, audio, videos, all these type of data are unstructured, so you cannot put it directly in the tabular form. And again, it's a challenging task for a data analyst, or to how to analyze these kind of unstructured data, and how to get useful information, or how to get some some kind of inputs from these kind of data. So it's always challenging to analyze or maybe visualize unstructured formats. There are few ways which are possible, like a few machine learning tools are available to handle this unstructured kind of data. Maybe if you're a mathematician, or then you can uh, go for, say, graph theory to analyze this unstructured form of data. But it's always challenging to analyze this unstructured form of data. Okay, so this was about how to you can categorize the data in these formats. And again, intersection of these things is possible. You can have a qualitative data which is open in nature, which is maybe it is temporal or spatial in nature. It is not compulsory that it should be a temporal or spatial, but it can be, and it can be any of these three types. So it can be a structured, it can be semi structured, or it can be unstructured. Okay, And as I said, structured data is easy to analyze. There are different software available for it. Like you can go from Excel to Python or R, SPSS data. So there are different ways through which this structured data can be analyzed. A few tools are available for analyzing semi-structured data, and very few are available for analyzing unstructured form of data. uh, Big data is again, it's a very it's not like not very much different thing, but the data which is uh, very high in volume and variety, veracity and velocity. So there are different v's applicable for big data. So any data which is very very high amount of data, you can consider it is at a big data. For example, if I say all all people who are using credit card in India or maybe in the world, all uh, American Express card users of the world, uh, Domino's, Amazon, all these sites are, they generate big data because it's very 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 high in volume. Its velocity is very high because people are buying in every second something is, any person in this world is buying from Amazon or Flipkart and any other website. So its velocity is very high, and its again veracity is also very high. So there are different these related to it. If you Google it, you will find about it, like big data, these different six V's or maybe three V's also there. So big six V's or some say three V's. So six V's of big data. If you see this: volume, variety, velocity, veracity, value, variability. So people are coming with different definitions. So volume is so initially there was these three V's: volume, variety, and sorry, volume, veracity, and velocity. And after that, these V's have been added by different organizations. So the amount of data, it indicates the volume. Variety, it's like different combinations of data, like it may be structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. And velocity is the speed at which the big data is generated, the degree of which data has been trusted, so veracity. And value, the business value of the data collected, which means that if it is valuable or not. If it is not valuable, then we can ignore that, any field of that data. Variability, the way in which the big data can be used and formatted. So this is big data. This example of big data, the six V's of big data. Real time data, like if you are tackling the data which is generated continuously, or and which is real time, like for example, maybe railway reservation or airline airport management. So these, the data generated by them is real time. And banking, so some transaction is taking place, and it's a real time data. And maybe if I can just show you a few examples, if like things go, if you are working on IoT, then you can have this kind of data. Let me show this example: smart energy, or maybe uh, yeah, let me take this example, live demo. So you can see smart energy monitoring. This is a live real-time data. So there are different sensors, smart meters, uh, installed at different places, and anyone can see on this dashboard this real time of data. So handling this kind of data, many IoT systems, and maybe you can consider like a airport management system, so which flight is landing, which is taking off, and especially at big airports like Heathrow in London. So these kind of data generated, you need to have very careful about analyzing, if you're analyzing this kind of data. So this is an example of real time data which is generated and which has to be monitored at very in very efficient way. So this was one example of real-time data. High dimensional data, if the data contains several fields, or if you are handling which has many features, okay, so this kind of data, like for example face recognition or maybe genomics data, so these are very high dimensional data. It has hundreds and million, maybe millions of features which can be extracted from particular thing. Okay, so this is high dimensional data. It is maybe like it may be somehow related. Any data, any big data can be a real time data or high dimensional data. Big data is you can consider that it can cover these things also. So big data can also be unstructured or maybe some semi structured structured form, and big data can also be closed or open or temporal spatial. So this was about basic definition about different kind of data. I hope you might have get some glimpse about how these data are there and how it can be handled. Let's go to a few sources where you can get data and you can go for analysis. For example, if you want to have data from Indian government, in data from the data which has been provided by the government of India. So the site is like data.gov.in. So this is one of the source where you can find data from different ministries and different departments of government organizations. You can get, so you can see that 507,385 resources are there, and you can also visualize some kind of data. So maybe if you want to have, you just have to say Google, you just type what type of data you want. So maybe if I type agriculture, uh, yeah, so agriculture data, so you can see that here the data, and you can just go for click on the link and you can just download it and use it. So it is one of the authentic source, and you can even cite this data if you're writing a research paper related to that. So you can see the different formats are available. XML, JSON, and JSON-P is available. So you can see the semi-structured form of data is also available apart from this structured form. So XLS and ODS are structured format. So most of us must be using this kind of data. Can just download it and use it. So this is one of the source to authentic source if you want to work on the data provided by the government of India. So there are hundreds and thousands of data sets are available on these sites. Another site which is very full is from Google. So Google data set. So this is not exactly the provider of uh, you know site provider of the data, but it is a search engine especially meant to search data set. Okay, so if you want to search for a specific data set, then you can go for this data search dot research dot google dot com and say corona virus India. You can just type it here, and you will see that different sources of data are available from different sources, and most of them are authentic, so you can use it. So for example, if I click on this link, and it will take you to this website, and now you can just download it from this site, the data. Okay, again, so it's asking to just sign in, so I will use my Google account for it. Okay, and so active cases by state. you will have to just explore this to get the data from different sites. So you need to explore. So you can see this is the download button, and now you can download it. Okay, so this is again a search engine for data set research, and you can find different websites for data. Another one is Kaggle. It's specifically for the statisticians and computer science people who who are very enthusiastic about data science and data set and Python, especially Python. Okay, so let me register with Google's. So Kaggle.com is there. It will ask you to just register for this site. uh, I agree. Okay, so you can find different data set for anything. Even you can find like if you want to have some Twitter data. Okay, so Twitter data. So go to you just use this search box to find different kind of data set, and even you can add your data set also. Uh, there are competitions also which are there in this Kaggle. So you can see, and the award money is quite high in few cases. Like for example, you can see the award money is 1 lakh dollar for this uh, data analysis. And again, you can find different uh, prize money is also there, and few are just for fun. So you can also, if you just go for it, and maybe you can suggest your students to have an account on Kaggle and start. It's all things are available here, so you can directly code here. You can have data sets, so you can upload your data set here, and you can also see different discussions here. Courses are also available there here. So Python, if you are new to Python, then you can go for this Python introduction to machine learning, Pandas, which is very uh, good tool for data analysis, data visualization. So everything is there. So Kaggle is a good website if you want to have career on data analysis and visualization. Okay, so Kaggle is one of them. And again, there are different sources also. So you can also find the sources on GitHub repositories. So you can search GitHub repository for just type any data, maybe type Twitter data. So you can also find uh, authentic data on GitHub repositories. Okay, so this is again one of the source. So data.gov.in for Indian government, the data provided by Indian government. Kaggle, international platform for data sets and analysis and coding and everything there. Dataset.google search engine for data set, and GitHub repositories again for finding uh, authentic different sources of data on internet. So this was about data and how to find data, how to collect data from the different sources. Let's understand about cleaning. So after getting data, it needs some kind of cleaning. Okay, so you cannot use the data exactly as it is every time. It might happen that you can use it directly without cleaning it, but you may require some kind of tools to clean it. Excel is one of them. You can use Excel because it provides several functions and several tools to clean the data. So but I will not cover the Excel part, and I hope that you must have used Excel for different kind of data analysis. But I will try to cover a new tool which is open source. So the name of the tool is OpenRefine. So it was earlier Google Refine. So now it's open source. Earlier it was Google Refined. You can see this here, formerly called Google Refined. So OpenRefine, you can just go to the site openrefine.org and click on download, and you will find that this is a new release. This is a beta release, so this is a stable release. So you can go and choose your, if you are using Mac computer then Mac kit, Linux computer then Linux operating system, then you can use Linux kit. Windows, you have two options here. So if you think that you have installed if your Java is updated on your computer, then use this one. And if you're not sure about that, that if Java is updated on your computer or not, then you can go for this second link. Okay, so I would recommend the second link to all of you, because uh, if you're not that computer savvy, then you might you will have to understand about updation of Java and other things. So let me use this Windows kit with embedded Java. Just download it, and so after downloading it, you can open this and just extract it, extract all. It will take some time. All right, so I have already installed it, so I will just skip this step, and I will go directly to my download, and I have just open this folder. After extracting it, open this folder, so you can see this download. This is a zip file, and this I have extracted it with the same name. Open this folder, double click on this folder, and click on this button, OpenRefine, with this diamond icon. Double click on it, and it will open in a web browser. So in my case, it has opened in this Google Chrome, because it's my default browser. Now you can see different formats are there. This OpenRefine can handle these kind of formats. So TSV, tab separated CSV, Excel, JSON, XML. So semi-structured data can also be handled through this OpenRefine. RDF and XML and Google data documents are also supported. For other formats of data, you will have to use this extension thing. So you can use extension thing if you want to add any other kind of data apart from these formats. Okay, now you will have to upload your data, and there are different options available here from your computer. If you want to upload your data from your computer, then this is the option. From any website link, directly from website link, then you will have to paste the web link here. If you want to copy and paste, then clipboard is here, so you can copy your data from Excel and paste it here directly. Database, so if you are using any kind of database, SQL database or other database, then you can establish a connection directly. So you can consider it like for live data. You can establish a connection from your, say, web page or any database, and you can analyze it here. And if your data is in Google spreadsheet, then you can paste the link here. For now, I will use this link. So I want to upload it from my computer. So choose file, and let me see. I have downloaded that COVID data on my desktop. So I will uh, go for that data only. India COVID, open. Next. uh, so you will see that this kind of data, because it has not able to detect it, but I know that I have downloaded it as Excel file, because that data was in Excel format. So select this one, so Excel file, I have select this format, and now it is completely understandable. So you will have to be careful when you download it. You must see and observe it, like in which format the data is there. Okay. Now, after selecting this Excel file and uploading this from my computer, click on this create project. So this is the data now. uh, Now let's see what kind of analysis and what different things you can do on this Open Refine. So first thing is, like, if you see this is upward downward triangle button, then you will, if you click on this, and there are different options available here. For example, few things you can do it directly, like edit cells and common transforms. If you go to common transform, trim leading and trailing white spaces. So if you have downloaded some data and you find that some spaces, like some extra spaces is there at leading and trailing points, then you can use this trim leading and trailing white spaces. Collapse consecutive, if you see that extra spaces are there between different texts, then you can use this one. uh, you can also change the case, like if you want that you can see this the data is in this sentence case, and you want to make it uppercase, then you can make it directly edit, sorry, edit cells and common transforms to uppercase. So you can see the whole data, this is directly changed into this uppercase format. We can make it lowercase also. You can change the format of the data also. So it says the text data, if it is, if you have downloaded, then, and the uh, the format of data is not in the text exactly, then you can make it text. Or if it is a date, then you can make it a date or number. So this, and you can also make it an empty string or null. So these type of common transform are also there, and if you want to explore more kind of transform, then you can again go for it. Okay. So it also provides integration with Python directly, so you can use this Python also for it. Okay. uh, Other thing which you can do, like sort and transpose and edit columns, all these features, if you have used like Excel, if you use, you can use those things here also. Okay. The difference is, like, you can analyze, or you can you handle this data in different other formats also, like JSON or XML. Like it's very difficult to handle JSON or XML file in Excel, but it's easy to handle it in Open Refine. So if you just handling a tabular data, or a simple table of data which is in some CSV or table format, then Excel and Open Refine provides almost equivalent service. But for different other formats of data, Open Refine is good than better than Excel. Okay. One more thing is, like the feature which is there is reconcile. So if you want to compare this data from existing repositories, then this is reconciliation, and it is a good feature. So let me show this. So start reconciling, and the option here is, like there are different standard services, the different standard data set with which this will compare your data set. So Wikidata is one of them, and if you want to add exist some different existing repositories, data repositories, then you can also add them and use it for reconciliation. uh, it will take some time. Yes, so I want to reconcile data from Wikidata. So Wikidata is a repository which is somewhat related to Wikipedia, and you can consider it like open data available on the net. and I want to make sure that the name of the states, like I want to just compare it with the name of states on Wikidata with my data which I have downloaded, uh, state of India, and that's it, and I want to reconcile it. So start reconciling. So now it will compare the name of the states with the data available on Wikidata. So this is not the best example of reconciling, but maybe, for example, if you are working on say movie data or some painting data or other kind of data, and you want to compare it with the existing data on Wikidata, so in that case reconciling is quite useful. But in this case, because we know that there are only these on only 36 number of states and union territories, then it's very it's not the exact use case of reconciliation. But let me just go with this example only, because I have downloaded this data. So now it's is reconciling. That means it is comparing the name of the state with the data available on Wikidata. 27% complete. So meanwhile it takes time. I will just go with the next feature, which is the export feature. So suppose you have used this data. I have uploaded the data which was in the Excel format, but you want to convert it in another format. So suppose you are using Linux based system, then you might find that the data should be converted into ODF format, because Excel will not work in in few cases. Excel is available there in Linux also, but if you want to use it in Linux based system properly, then you can convert it, export it in the ODF format. You can convert it in HTML table format if you want to use it on web page. You can also convert it into comma separated or tab separated values. So this is again another feature in which through which you can convert your data from one format to another format. Okay, so uh, uh, the data which I have downloaded was in Excel format, and now you can convert it into these formats. Okay, and 83% complete. So just let's wait for a few more seconds. Yes, so it's done. Now you can see it has compared the data with Wikidata, and it has found the match for 27, and it has not able to find match for 9. Okay, so it this Andaman and Nicobar, it has not able to find on the wiki data. As I have already said, that it is not the appropriate data set, because on wiki data this name was there, but it's exactly this name was not there. For Chandigarh, these names are there on wiki data. For Dadra, Nagar Haveli, and Daman Diu, these names were there on Wikidata. For Ladakh, these names are there, but for most of the states, you can see the match is there on Wikidata. So